Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, welcome to the our online learning session. It's session 3. We are in part 3 of classification of living organisms. Hope you all are doing good. I hope you all watched the previous class carefully and took necessary notes. And inshallah, this class we'll see a few topics like how organisms are named and all this inshallah. Before that, I want to do a recap of what we did in the last class. So last class we saw classification of organisms, how they are classified, and I also notified a very important point that it's not 100% true whatever scientists say, and we don't believe in concepts like we evolved from monkeys and all these things. Okay, this just for the sake of examination we are studying from this book. So you don't have to believe completely like things that are like contradictory to our deen. Fine. And we saw how humans are classified based on their kingdom. I told the hierarchy, that is the order. First is kingdom, second phylum, then class, then order, family, and genus, then species. Fine. Then we saw three domains of classification: archaebacteria, eubacteria, eukarya, and five. Then we have the five kingdom of life, that is Monera, Protista, fungi, plantain, animalia. And inshallah, this class will go little deep into explaining about these five kingdoms of life. Fine. So inshallah we'll go. So this topic is about how organisms are named. Fine. So you can see here in the book, uh, in your book on your book it's mentioned. Okay. So the concept which we are going to see now is how organisms are named. So you know that I told that in the first class that all the organisms have to be named in certain way. We cannot name them randomly because there are millions of organisms. So we have to set a particular scientific notation to name the organisms. So we know that we have local names for organisms, whether it is plants or animals, we have local names. For example, they've given here that mango is it's a name in English, and in Hindi they call am, and in Tamil they call manga. I don't know what they call in Bari or Kannada. And the scientific name for mango is Mangifera indica. So Mangifera indica is the scientific name for mango. So when they keep this scientific name for organism, it is basically the first name is the genus of that particular organism. Genus. Okay. And um the second name in the scientific name is the species of the organism. So if we say humans as Homo sapiens, Homo is the name of genus for humans, and sapiens is the species. Fine. So next we'll see about scientific name. As I told you before, it has several advantages and it is specific identity for specific organism. We cannot call two organism with two distinct features with the same name. Both of them has to have different names. So and also when you see local names for organism, it is only understood in the local by the local people, those who speak that language. As for scientific name for organisms, it has to be understood. I mean, it is for all the people. Like it is understood all over the world because it is only one scientific name. You don't have multiple scientific names. So it is very easy for everyone to know the name. For example, if you go anywhere and the scientific name is going to be same, that is Homo sapiens for humans. Or if you want to mention mango, you say Mangifera indica. Fine. So about this name, I told it consists of two words. First word is of the name of the genus of the particular organism, and when you write it with a capital letter. This one you start it with a capital letter. Okay, the first letter you start it with a capital letter. Then the second name you start with small letter. Fine, that is name of the species. For example, the cat we have, the name of the scientific name of cat is Felis domestica. Felis is the genus of cat, and domestica is the species. So the first letter of the genus is mentioned with capital letter, and second name, that is species name, is written in small letter. Okay, and the third point is that scientific name is always written either in italics or underlined. Okay, either it's written in italics, that is like this slanted font, or underlined. Fine. And this naming system, they call it as binomial system of nomenclature. Okay, binomial system of nomenclature. This was introduced by a Swedish naturalist. He was a Sweden naturalist in the 18th century. His name was Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. So binomial, bi means two. Okay, nomenclature means naming system. It's like you name something. That is what is called as nomenclature. Dear students, as I already told that in science you will see a lot of new terms. So don't be scared. Just read 2 3 times, and don't be scared that you are not able to remember everything, because many new terms come. So you don't have to worry. Just study. Don't worry. And once again you revise it, you will understand little better. Then once again you revise after some days or some time, then inshallah you will remember this. Okay, so don't be afraid. So binomial means two names, and nomenclature means naming. So that's why they call this as binomial system of nomenclature, that is two names naming system. Okay, the next is we are going to see the five kingdoms that we told: Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia. These five kingdoms, inshallah, we are going to now see a little deeper. Okay, we are going to see little deeper. The first kingdom is Monera. So when they say Monera, it includes microscopic organisms. Microscopic, those organisms which we cannot see through our eyes. We need microscope to see them. And the second category is that second characteristic of that kingdom is that they are single celled. Fine, they possess only one cell, and with cell wall, they have cell wall and no proper nucleus. That is, it does not have a proper nucleus. Okay, well defined nucleus. It has no proper nucleus. And examples they've given is all the bacteria come under Monera. And the next kingdom is Protista. You can write Protoctista, kingdom Protoctista, and it's also called as Protista. You go with this simple name, that is Protista. It includes single celled organism, first one, but it is with well formed nucleus. Fine. As for Monera, it is single celled with cell wall, no proper nucleus. But Protista, it is single celled organism with well formed nucleus. They've given example like amoeba, malarial parasite, and Chlamydomonas. This is a rough diagram of Chlamydomonas. It's an organism, comes under Protista. The next one is kingdom fungi. It includes multicellular. Those previous two were single cellular. This fungi is multicellular. Many cells are present, and the body is made up of network of fine threads called hyphae. Inshallah, we'll see They the body made of network that is called as mycelium. Fine threads called hyphae. We'll see. I'll explain further. For example, mycelium. We'll see. I'll show you picture. Uh, Mycelium and hyphae. Mycelium and hyphae is what we are going to see now. So you can see here, the mycelium looks like a network of fine, like a thread structure. You can see here, right? Here. So this is what is called as mycelium. Fine. And they have also mentioned another name, hyphae. I'll tell you that mycelium is group of network of this fine threads. Hyphae is a single structure from mycelium. For example, here you can see. So this is mycelium completely full of fine threads. The single thread like structure in the mycelium is called as hyphae. So you can say that mycelium is made up of hyphae. Fine. I just show those images for your better understanding. Don't be scared. You don't have to write or remember all these things. You just have to just remember the name and the definition. Fine. So the fungi feed on dead decaying matter. So any dead decaying matter, organic matter, the fungi feeds on it. They take nutrition from it. So they are called as, their mode of nutrition is called as saprotrophs. You know the mushroom, yeast, and bread mold. Mushroom, you can see. I'll show you. Mm, wait, yeah. Uh, 1 second. So here you can see it's one of the type of mushroom. It is growing on a dead decaying matter. It's like plant decaying matter. So it's growing on this. So it comes under saprotrophs. Those that those organisms that take nutrition from the dead decaying matter, and yeast and bread mold. Bread mold, you could have seen if you had bread in your house and it was kept for more time, and there will be a mold forming over that bread. You can see here, I think. Yeah, I'll show you here. You can see these are like bread molds. So they grow on the decaying, okay, organic matter. So that is bread molds. I hope you all understood clearly. Then the next one is kingdom Plantae. That is, it includes multicellular eukaryotes. It's also multicellular, and they are eukaryotes. Eukaryotes means, the main difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes is that eukaryotic cell will have proper defined nucleus. I'll repeat, eukaryotes eukaryotic cells will have proper defined nucleus, while prokaryotes will not have proper defined nucleus. This is the major difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Remember this. Write it down and remember this. Fine. They have cellulose as cell wall. Cellulose is a molecule. Okay, it's made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and it is made up of, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. The plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cellulose gives that rigid structure to the plant. Plant are not like, non-rigid. It's rigid, like stiff, like sticks you found like from plants. The stiffness is given by the cellulose present in the cell wall. And this the Flante kingdom, they have chlorophyll present in their cells. You know, chlorophyll is a pigment, green pigment, that helps converting sunlight into chemical energy. Okay, that is light energy into chemical energy. Plants need food. Okay, they have sunlight, they have water, they have carbon dioxide. They use these three to produce uh, this thing, glucose for them, for their growth, and they emit oxygen. So they release oxygen, not emit, release oxygen. And chlorophyll is a green pigment. Plants look green in color because of the chlorophyll presence in the plants, in their cells. Fine. And you have to remember that chlorophyll is a green pigment that helps in photosynthesis. Okay, you remember this definition. Chlorophyll is a green pigment helps in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process of using sunlight to produce food for plants. Okay, autotrophs. Autotrophs means they produce their own food, as I told in the last class. Then the kingdom Animalia. It includes organisms with following characteristics: multicellular, eukaryotes. I told the definition of eukaryotes. Heterotrophic, that is they feed from other plants and animals. Like we are heterotrophs, we eat plants and animals, like we eat meat. And they possess special organs for locomotion means movement. Okay, you remember locomotion means movement. So you have to remember that they possess special organs for movement from one place to another, like how we possess legs to move from one place to another. And they possess nervous system with sense organs. Okay, like how we have nerves in our body, and we have nervous system. Sense organs like you have nose, we can smell, and we can hear using our ears, and we can sense by touching through our skin. These are the sense organs. Fine. Then we will see classification of plants. So from this five kingdom, we saw Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. We will broadly see only plants and animals. Fine. Plants and animals in this lesson, inshallah. So when the classification of plants, if you see classification of plants, they are mainly classified into main four types. Then the fourth type is divided into two types. Okay, so the first one is algae, second one is bryophyta, third one is pteridophyta, fourth one spermatophyta. And this spermatophyta is further classified into gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, you have to remember this, the four terms you have to remember. Then under this fourth term you have to remember the two terms. Okay, so the classification is algae, no special roots. They don't have special roots like how we see in plants. No special roots, no stem or no leaves. They come under plantae, but they don't have roots or stem or leaves. They look like this. This is an example. Okay, algae. And bryophyta is like the root like hyphae. Hyphae is like a thread-like structure. I told you before, but no true roots. They will not have proper roots. Example, they have given two plants, liverworts and mosses. And the third type is pteridophyta. They will have true roots and true underground stem. The stem will be like little bit underground. It will be there. And spore bearing leaves. Spores are like basically small structure. I'll show you inshallah. So spores are, it will looks it will be like this on the leaves, and they will fall down, and they will grow into new plants. So they are the spores. The leaves will have spores. An example, fern. So fern will look like this. Okay, and the fourth type is spermatophyta. It is like any plants that bears I mean any plant that bear a seed. Okay, any plant that produces seeds are called as spermatophyta. Under this they have two subcategory. First one is gymnosperms. They will have no flowers. No flowers will be there, and the seeds will be naked. That is, it will not be inside the fruit, but it will be outside like naked. I will show you an example. So here you can see it is like no fruits, but the seeds are like outside naked. So they are called as gymnosperms. And angiosperms are like uh, any seed bearing plant. That seed will be inside the fruits. Okay, the seed will be inside the fruit. Then they are flowering plants. These are the like classification of plants. Hope you understood whatever I told. I mean whatever I taught. If you have any doubts, inshallah, write it down, and you can ask me during our live session, inshallah, or else you can also message me if you wish. Please study well. Don't be scared. Write it down. Okay, don't be lethargic. You're in your 10th standard. You have to study well. I'll stop here. بارك الله فيكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Inshallah, next class we will see classification of animals.